Let's say that you're running Revit and you need to install a component. So you're trying to go up here, you're doing components, and unfortunately, what you want is not in here. You need some additional cabinets, cars, whatever. We're going to copy that over. So, first, find the folder icon in your file browser. Looks like a yellow manila folder. And then I'm going to first open up one of these for my H drive. That's where I've got all my personal files. That's where I've saved my house. So I'm going to go to my engineering design folder. I'm going to go to my Revit house. There's my dream house. You'll notice there's some other backup files in there too. We can just ignore those for now. I'm going to leave that open. The next thing I want to open up is the same file browser again. But this time I want to go to the student share folder. Now this is going to look a little bit different on yours. There's a good chance you're going to have to go to the desktop and open up a student share link from there. I'm just going to skip that step, and hopefully on yours it shows on the left. Now you might see student share and it goes to Miss Lem directly. So if you're in there, and again, this will vary a little bit from computer to computer, but a lot of you will wind up in this folder by default because it's Miss Lem's room. So I'm going to go back to student share. Again, there should be a link to that on the desktop. You'll have to look around a little bit. Might be a little confusing. Once I'm back in student share in general, I can go to Nelson B, and inside of there, I'll find Revit families. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this. I'm just showing you what I think is the easiest way. So I'm going to go to doors, and let's say that I want to load something like a double curtain, double glass door, or a double flush panel. It's up to you. How about an overhead rolling door, like a garage door? I'm just going to drag that into my Revit house folder. And before you ask, can you highlight multiples of these? Yes, I can hold Shift and everything in between my first and second click gets highlighted. Or I can hold Control and I can choose one at a time. Either way, drag in the doors that you want. You'll notice they load as these RFA, Revit families. So as soon as you have them in there, and I would just leave this folder open, by the way, because odds are good you're going to want more of those. As always, there is more than one way to do this. So I'm back in Revit. I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to load Family. And again, there's other ways to do this. I just think this is easy. I'm going to go ahead. I could highlight more of these. I could hold Control or Shift, whatever. I'll just go ahead and insert the double wall glass door and the overhead rolling door, and I'll hit Open. Now, if you get an error message about you already did this, there might be some other pop-ups. Generally hit OK or Continue. Now, it'll appear that nothing actually happened until I go to my door tab, for example. So right now, I've got some of the same doors I had before, but when I open this up and I look through, I see there's my overhead rolling door right there. And that is something more akin to a garage door. So it's going to look a little bit weird in a house, and it's going to complain that I don't actually have space to put that in, because I don't. It's 2 stories tall. So again, when you're choosing something, try to choose things that actually make sense. Also, some things cannot be placed anywhere. Like if you load kitchen cabinets, you probably can't place those on walls. Some types of lights can only be placed on a ceiling. So initially, you won't be able to put them anywhere. Some things have to be placed on floors, etc. And some things will only show up, like windows, for instance. Anything in a window family will only show up when I'm putting in windows. The way that Revit manages this is a little bit complicated to go into right now. Those are just the basics. You can also download files offline if you look through manufacturer websites. But again, those can be hard to find. Only do so if you're interested. Last but not least, you will eventually wind up absolutely clogging this list up with things that you wind up not actually needing. So if you go to Manage, there is a Purge Unused option. If you click on that, it will offer to take care of everything that is currently not being used. and there is a lot of stuff. So if I hit check all, anything that's not currently in use, if I hit OK, it will wipe it all out. This will take out some of your elevation and section views and other things you're not needing. So make sure that you're only doing that if necessary. So I'll hit OK. And that wipes out almost everything unused. So if I go over to my door tabs now, the only doors showing up are the two types that I currently have in my project. If I go to insert a window, same thing. I have one type listed in there. Last thing, and I'll just mention this very quickly. If I hit the edit type button here, sometimes depending on the object, you will have more than one type in here. And you can also duplicate and make custom versions. So for instance, I'll do this window and I'll call it 48 by 60 custom. And then I can go through and I can change the color of the cladding, for example. I could make it cherry wood around the cladding. That's going to be appearance type stuff. I could also make the width much wider. I could change the height. And then I could change other things that Revit cares about, like building phase and classification, the sill height, how far it is from the ground to the bottom of the window, that kind of stuff. If I hit OK now I'm putting in custom windows, which again will look mostly the same, except for that cherry mullions running through the middle and a different color, as you can see. Again, don't get too obsessed with this stuff. You don't need to do most of this for your project.